Hey everyone, it's Simon Hurley from Inklips. Today I'm going to be using this triangle stamp set from Altenew, and I'm going to be comparing two different types of ink pads in today's video while stamping repeat symmetrical patterns and showing you guys all about how to do it to create two really simple but stunning cards. So I'm starting off both of the cards by finding the center of the card and marking it down with a pencil and my ruler. This way the pattern will be a lot more even once I finish off the cards. And I'm going to start off with the first triangle, touching that tip of the dot, and then we're going to move around that pattern and you'll see kind of how it works out. I'm starting off by the first card with Altenew inks. Now I have nothing against mixing brands, but I wanted to do two separate cards with two different ink brands so I can show you the different results you get with each ink. But by all means, buy whatever ink colors you like and buy whatever brands you like, and it doesn't really matter if you mix and match them because they all do look pretty similar. Now with these Altenew inks here, I really love these because each color has four different colors in it. So there's a lighter, a second light one, a medium one, and a dark one. Or I don't really know how to explain it, but they're four different colors that Altenew has chosen that match really well, if that makes any sense. They're actually meant for layering stamps. So if you guys do have layering stamps, that works really well. But it also works super well with this. Now by all means, I don't know how to have all of the Altenew colors, so I wasn't able to complete the whole hexagon with all the different color shades. So I had to add a couple different shades from each different color family in each one, but I still think it looks pretty cool at the end. Now I also did repeat some of the hexagons, but if you got all the Altenew inks, they do have quite a few, so you could probably do the whole card without actually having to repeat an ink. I think that would look really awesome as well. So another thing about Altenew's inks is when they first stamp, they start out a little bit splotchy, or at least with some of the colors they do. Now that can be a problem with the stamp, or that can be a problem with the ink or how you inked it up. You just want to make sure you get a lot of ink on there and put a good enough amount of pressure on so that the ink transfers to the paper. Now if that does happen to you though, most of these ink brands, everyone gets different results with these ink brands, but most of them soften into the paper, and that's exactly what the Altenew inks do. After a little while, once they're completely dry in the paper, now they start off by drying into the paper, so you don't really notice that they're wet, but they're still a little bit wet for a long time, and so once they completely dry into the actual cardstock, it'll soften up and smooth over time, and so you'll see that one splotchy green one that I just got there, that will definitely smooth into the cardstock later, and it gives you sort of almost a velvety kind of look, and I love that about these inks. So I love the effect that they have when they're completely dry, and you guys will see that in pictures later on. So I'm just finishing off the design here using some of those colors, and also if they're a little splotchy, you can definitely double stamp them too, but I really have no problems with these inks, and I love how they're turning out, and I'm definitely going to invest in some more colors in the future as well. So I'm just finishing off the last triangle here with the stamping, and then we're going to move on to using the Simon Says Stamp Die inks. These are also like the Hero Arts inks, or the W+9 inks, or Lawn Fawn, or anything like that. A lot of them are quite similar, but I just wanted to show you the Simon Says Stamp today because I have a lot of those. So with the Simon Says Stamp inks, you do have to choose your own colors. So sometimes online it's a little bit hard to order the colors because they don't look exactly like they do in real life. So that's just one downside to this, especially if you're looking for certain color families or whatever. They don't work as well as the Altenew inks because the color families aren't specially like made together. But you can find some colors that really do match nicely. Now also, I find that these colors are just a little bit brighter when they dry and a little bit more vibrant because they don't dry completely like velvet. They dry a little bit more vibrantly, and also just with the other inks as well, once they start out stamping splotchy, especially with these, they definitely smooth out into the cardstock a lot once they're completely dry, and you'll see a lot better of a result once they're completely dry. Now I still find that some of them are splotchy, but that could be that some of the ink pads are a little bit older and not have as much ink in them, or your stamp might not be prepped completely, and I actually didn't prep this stamp before I used it. So to prep a stamp, you can just use like Versamark or something like that to get it a little bit easier, and just make sure you're stamping with it a lot before you actually use it on a card. Also, make sure you test out the colors that you're going to be using on the card before you actually do it, especially with these Simon Says stampings, where they're not specially formulated to work together as the certain color families. You're going to want to test that on a sheet of cardstock, because if you stamp a color that you don't really like next to another color, it might ruin the whole card, and you don't want to start over on this pattern. Now the pattern is a little bit more time consuming. You just have to look through the stamp and make sure you're lining it up perfectly, and if there's any imperfections in the card, nobody's going to notice, nobody's going to really care. It's a handmade card, and I think the pattern looks awesome anyway. So I'm just completing this card. Now with this one, I went a little bit more not following the color families, especially because they're a little bit harder to find with this brand of ink. So I just kind of went around in the hexagons with whatever colors I liked that looked good together, and I think in the end, this one looks completely awesome as well. I love the design of all these triangles together. Now I'm going to take that part, because you'll notice I didn't stamp the whole card, and I'm going to cut off the edge, because this will give it a little bit more dimension later when I pop it up on foam tape on the cards. So I'm just cutting that out using a scissors here, and this just works really well. So I'm going to do that on both of the cards, and then I'm going to add some foam on both of the backs using some adhesive. Once I've completed that, I'm going to move on to adding them to the card bases. I'm just adding them on the left sides of the card using some dimension with that foam that we had there. And then I'm going to cut out a die cut that says Grateful from Concord and Ninth. Now, these die cuts, I cut them out using some black cardstock, and I love how they look with these cards especially. And I'm just going to add some Wink of Stella to this. This will just give it a nice shimmer, but the glitter doesn't come off, so it works out really well. Then I'm just going to add some clear embossing powder onto this, and I'm going to heat set it. Now you're going to want to add like a piece of tape to the back of the die cut instead of just holding it in your hand, because it'll be a lot easier to heat up as well. So if you want to heat it up without it moving around like it is here, you're going to want to just use some tape, but I'm just heat setting the embossing powder here so that it gets a nice clear and shiny finish. This way I'll be able to add it onto my card base like this, and I let the L just hang over a little bit over the edge. It gives a little bit more added effect and dimension. Then finally I'm just going to line those up with the triangles, and then I'm just going to add some sequins onto the cards. I'm just using some different sizes of clear sequins here from Little Things by Lucy Abrams. So that completes today's cards. I hope you guys love this card design as much as I do. I love the symmetrical designs that we did today with all the different colors. And also, if you learned just a little bit more with the ink comparison, I hope you guys will just mix and match these colors if you like them, and just really choose the inks that you think are right for you. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and you'll never miss another video like this from me, and you'll be notified every time I upload another video. Also here, if you check out the links on screen, you can subscribe or check out my blog with much more information and links to all the products we've used in today's video. And also, if you want to see more videos by me that are related to this video, check out those videos on the side right there, and you'll be able to click on either one and go head over and watch those. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you very soon.